Dunedin TV presents your local weekly morning show from delightfully different Dunedin. Featuring Justin Gattaccio with Caitlin Hart. Including a musical performance by a local artist, an in-depth conversation with people in the know. This is Good Morning Dunedin.
This week on Good Morning Dunedin, we celebrate the show's one-year anniversary. Our town becomes a hidden hero city. Caregiver Advocate Jennifer Henius shares with us her Yoga for Caregivers program. Toronto Blue Jays spring training is here. Dunedin TV went to the opening game this week for spring training at the new TD Ballpark. Mayor Julie Ward Bujalski has a message for the city and welcomes the Toronto Blue Jays back to Dunedin. Metal artist Strunk III joins us in the Art Corner to talk about his incredible metal welding work. And lastly, Katie Ducharme performs the National Anthem from TD Ballpark in celebration of opening day. All of this and more is coming up this morning on
Good Morning Dunedin!
Welcome back to your favorite little local morning show. I'm your host, Justin Gattaccio, and I'm here with my co-host, Caitlin Hart. How you doing, Caitlin?
Good, Justin. How about yourself?
Fantastic. Well, thank you all for tuning in this morning, whether on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, or on our local Dunedin TV cable channels 15 and 639. However you found us today, thanks for watching your favorite little local morning show. So on this episode of Good Morning Dunedin, we're going to talk about the Toronto Blue Jays spring training. It's been a couple days since we've been to the game.
Yes, that was a lot of fun. I was glad to be back and happy that they're back open and everybody's here in Dunedin.
So the city of Dunedin recently extended their contract with the Toronto Blue Jays for another 25 years. This commitment came with the total revamp of the stadium here in Dunedin. With the remodel, the stadium donned a new name, TD Ballpark. It's kind of the perfect relationship for their home for spring training here in Dunedin.
Mm-hmm. The ballpark was completed in February of last year and opened for one game before closing for COVID safety measures.
Yeah, I missed the opening day last year, so I totally missed out on spring training.
It was
completely
a
last
lot of
year.
fun and totally different from this year.
I know. Well, there was only like 15% of the crowd, and so when you looked out at the stadium, it was just scattered, definitely socially distanced.
I was going to say, definitely spread out.
It did not seem like a home opener for sure. So we had a lot of fun at opening day.
Yeah, and it's so heartwarming to see the local community coming out to support. Here are some photos of the locals' point of view.
It's nice to see these viewer-submitted photos from their perspective at the ball game. It's also nice to see everybody at the ball game socially distancing and enjoying themselves. We are so fortunate to have the Blue Jays back here in Dunedin for spring training.
And they officially extended their stay into April. The Toronto Blue Jays plan to call Dunedin home for the first few games of their regular season.
Yeah, it's the first time in history that a regular season Major League ball game is being played in Dunedin at a minor league stadium. The city's really abuzz.
Yeah, that's
should be
exciting.
Nice. Yeah, it's a little different. We were at the game and we met up with the mayor of Dunedin. She wanted to give us a little welcome back message.
Hey everybody, I'm Julie Ward Bujalski, Mayor of the great city of Dunedin, and we're here at opening day of spring training. We couldn't be more exciting to welcome our Toronto Blue Jays, our Canadian fans back here. They're playing the Pirates today. So we're just so excited. We want to encourage you to try to get a ticket. Everything is social distance. I'm sure you'll see when they pan the camera later on in this show just how safe they are doing everything. We are just so excited. Please come join us for a spring training game.
All right, thanks, Mayor. So tickets for the Blue Jays games are currently sold out, but you can find more information at www.mlb.com.
In Community Corner News, Parks and Rec is holding a child safety drive-thru tomorrow at Highlander Park. Parents can pre-register children ages 1 to 10 at dunedingov.com.
All right, so we hope to see you out there tomorrow. Get your free life jackets. All right, so next in Community Corner News, today is National Wear Blue for colon cancer awareness. I see, Caitlin, that you are also wearing blue.
I am. Yes, I have a actually very special person. My grandma had recently passed away a few years back due to colon cancer. She didn't get her screening done. She hasn't been to the doctor. It's been about 25 years. So this is definitely just to raise awareness to get your screening done. The age is about 50. But then if you have it in your family, if it runs in your family, then they do recommend you getting it sooner than that.
Right. Well, I'm so sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
That's awful. But we are trying to raise awareness for colon cancer. So please get yourself screened, and hopefully we can catch it before it
prevent other situations like that.
Well, don't forget to wear blue in support of Colon Cancer Awareness Day. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to have caregiver advocate Jennifer Henias on the show, and she'll be talking to us today about her Yoga for Caregivers program. Stay tuned.
Hi, I'm Greg Bryant. Question for you. How well do you know your elected officials?
And so just civics was giving back, getting involved, providing service. It was kind of
Coffee with the Commission.
Welcome back to Good Morning Dunedin. Joining us now is this week's hidden hero, caregiver advocate Jennifer Henias. Welcome to the show, Jennifer.
Hi. Hi, thanks so much for having me.
It's a pleasure to have you on the show. So, can you tell us a little bit about your background and what it means to be this hidden hero?
Sure. So I am a licensed clinical social worker. I'm the wife of a veteran who's a former Marine, and I'm also a caregiver. I'm a long-distance caregiver for my father, who is battling dementia. And I have been working closely with the Elizabeth Dole Foundation, who is an advocacy group for caregivers. And former Senator Elizabeth Dole spent a lot of time at Walter Reed following post 9/11, visiting with wounded warriors in the hospital. Of course, she's been a caregiver of former Senator Bob Dole. He implemented this organization to serve as an advocacy group for caregivers of wounded warriors.
Okay, Bob Dole. Like Bob Dole. Great.
Yeah.
And can you tell us a little bit about what it means to be a hidden hero city?
Sure. So hidden heroes are really the caregivers who are taking care of veterans in their homes, across our communities. And Elizabeth Dole refers to them as hidden heroes because they are sort of the unsung, invisible heroes in our communities, right? And so we really wanted to raise the visibility of these caregivers that are living amongst us in their communities and make sure that there's a place to basically give them visibility and raise awareness of their needs and create a forum for them to voice their supports. And so Dunedin has become the 161st city across the nation to be designated as a Hidden Heroes City following St. Pete, which happened in November of 2020.
Wonderful. That's all. Sounds like great news.
Yeah.
Can you tell us what is the Caregiver Wellness Collective Incorporated?
Sure. So the Caregiver Wellness Collective, Inc. is something that I started up really during COVID. I was sort of looking for a way to give back. I am not in the healthcare system anymore. I have formerly had 20 years for the Department of Veterans Affairs as a social worker. And at the onset of COVID, I was basically looking for a way to give back to the community. And I started a project called Yoga for Caregivers. And the point of Yoga for Caregivers was really to try to offer evidence-based tools and practices to support caregiver health, mental health, and wellness during a time of crisis. And it started here in Tampa Bay, here in Dunedin, and it sort of really took off And in order to sort of formalize this program and give it some structure and enable a way for our amazing volunteers to support us, we decided to pursue a path of a nonprofit. And we're called that the Caregiver Wellness Collective, Inc. And the Caregiver Wellness Collective, Inc. is going to work with cities and governments, organizations, and basically offer wellness workshops and education and training, and work with a variety of wellness practitioners across our community to support caregivers.
Well, caregiving is a very important job. I actually was a caregiver during my college years for a man with Alzheimer's.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, so I know firsthand what it's like to be a caregiver, and now I'm a yogi and I practice yoga, so I can see the benefits of yoga, especially for caregivers. So now currently my mother-in-law is a caregiver, and she just started doing Pilates, and it's really helping her because she's 70 years old herself and is caring for like 95-year-old people. So even just that the exercise and stretching of her Pilates class is really making all the difference and keeping her physically fit enough to care for other people. So
that's awesome.
This program sounds perfect.
Well, that's awesome to hear. There are, I guess you mentioned college students, and there's about 5 million college students across the country who are caregivers. And there's more than 53 million caregivers across the country. And that is prior to the pandemic, right? Where so many of us are now finding ourselves in this caregiving role. There's a lot of, spouses, working moms in particular, who are sort of in that sandwich role of taking care of their kids and maybe also taking care of their parents and their grandparents.
Yeah.
And so 1 in 5 of us is a family caregiver. So the likelihood is that either one of us is a caregiver or knows somebody who is, or will need a caregiver at some point in their lifespan. So caregiving is really a critical role in our society, and these caregivers work really hard to take care of their loved ones and often experience isolation, depression, anxiety. And so things like yoga, mindfulness, meditation can really be beneficial to these caregivers.
Absolutely. Thank you for starting this program and working with these great caregivers. How can a caregiver find out more information about this Yoga for Caregivers program?
Sure. So Yoga for Caregivers operates on Facebook. So we have a Facebook group, Yoga for Caregivers, the number 4. It's a private Facebook group, and we offer classes that are specifically created for the busy caregiver in mind. The classes are accessible, so you don't need any yoga experience. You can sort of come as you are. And our classes are short, and we leave them there for replay so that people can watch them at a later time that's more convenient for them. And we also have monthly meetings in that group to offer social support because the caregivers are so isolated. So that's just another thing that we're doing. And we're just all volunteer-based, but that's the best place to find us.
On Facebook for Yoga for Caregivers. Great. So thanks again for coming on the show, Jennifer. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
Well, I'd like to say that we're going to be working closely, right, with the city and with the veteran service organizations in town, the local VA hospitals, and we're excited to really build up that relationship and bring caregivers into the fold in terms of city events. And when we're recognizing veterans, we're also recognizing the sacrifice that these family caregivers are making to care for their loved ones at home.
Well, good. Well, again, I appreciate you coming on the show and sharing this program with us.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. And good morning, Dunedin.
All right. Well, good morning, Jennifer. Thank you very much. We are going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll have with us Frank Strunk III in today's Art Corner.
Catherine Castanes at Dunedin Public Library. Welcome to the Youth Department. I want to share what programs and activities we have going on. We have activity bags for preschool, youth, and teens, 2 bags per month. The first set of bags are from the 1st until we run out. The second set of bags are from the 16th until we run out. In addition, we have 4 monthly challenges where the winners will receive a $25 Amazon gift card. We have Lego Club, Family Reading Challenge, the Teen Craft Bag Challenge, and the Teen Reading Challenge. I also want to share that we have online programs available for you. We have story times that we post weekly from the staff at the library, a variety of books, and in February we are highlighting Black History Month. It'll be fantastic. In addition, we have homework help on Wednesdays, computer tutoring on Fridays. The first Thursday of each month is Among Us, and the 4th Monday of each month is Chess Club. We also have 2 teen-ran programs. One is a teen book club online, the other is the Teen Creative Writing Club. For more information, please visit us on the website at dunedingov.com/library. Thank you so much for spending the day with us.
My name is Frank Strunk III. I'm an artist here in St. Petersburg, Florida. I'm a metal fabricator, and I just try to tell my story through metal sculpture. I was a carpenter, construction worker by trade, so I'd picked up how to fabricate, cut, straight, measure through a lot of other, say, mediums like wood and concrete and stuff. And it was just, I don't want to say a natural progression, it was probably just through curiosity that I started to work, fabricate with metal, or want to fabricate with metal. And then once I did, it just became very clear that that was going to be, my chosen medium. When I worked construction, I would throw discarded construction materials in my pickup truck and take them home and make stuff in my backyard out of like concrete, chunks of concrete and rebar and roofing materials. And none of it was very good, but it felt really good to do it. And I thought, man, I should probably explore this more, just in terms of doing more stuff to make me feel good outside of just my kind of wage slave life that I was living. One of my influences, or just maybe stuff that I enjoy looking at, is like brutalist architecture in general. But I like the brutalist stuff, kind of cold, unforgiving, concrete and steel sculptures. I like old cars, old rusty trucks, old clanky machines. I mean, I grew up in the printing industry, so to crank out printed material and this machine that was so synchronous and so perfectly engineered, that's probably what the real love of my art comes from. Well, the very first fashion show I did with Dunedin, it was the first one they did. It was so hard. It was like one of the hardest things working on a live person, because I usually just work by myself. But building a sculpture on a person was tough. Well, by the time that first show came to be, I'd done 3 outfits for 3 models, and it was great. I loved it. The models were great because they were uncomfortable and they had little cuts on them when it was done. So they really gave themselves to it, and I took all the credit because I'm the artist. So I did like the next, 4 or 5 of them, and then I stopped. And then I had a 10-year break.
Your last wearable show qualifies into my top 20 most dangerous video assignments.
Oh, yeah.
I think it was the scorpion tail.
Yeah, well, I please accept my apology for how close that was to getting to your face. We kind of checked that thing out for people in the front row, and we knew it was going to be 3 feet from the front row people, even though when it swung, a lot of the people in the front row were like, whoa, leaning back. It was nowhere near them. But you were in between, you were in that space. So I don't think she knew how close she was swinging that to your face. I'm glad it didn't hurt you or damage your modeling career, which clearly you're going to have. I'm almost always ready at some point to part with a piece. A lot of it is, you do what you gotta do so you can do what you wanna do. And so pieces that are kind of merchy and I do small local markets with, they're just like little chunks of awesomeness. They're meant to go. I'm not so sad to see those go. But I would say the best one, the ones that I care the most about are the kinetic ones, for sure. I was contacted by a local ad agency that was shooting a Doritos commercial. And then they sent me the number, and it was number 12. This dude had been recently traded to the Buccaneers. So I was pretty stoked. Anyway, it's the big number, rusty number 12, behind Tom Brady and on this Doritos commercial. And I think the commercial was called "'Twas a Night Before Kickoff." So anyway, if you see it, be some Doritos, man. I think the only thing that art is second to is nature. It's the most beautiful thing, and nobody made that. Maybe art is just mimicking the perfection that is nature, and we are all just a bunch of monkeys who are trying to, be as much like nature as we can. It doesn't always show in the work that I do. My work is, like a low-tech industrial, modern, contemporary kind of stuff, but I love nature,
Well, you're working with
steel, iron. It's an element, babe. It comes from the earth. It's real. Good morning, Dunedin.
Wow, so I actually never considered metal a form of art until I started working for Julian Hartzog, which is another designer, and he was actually inspired from Frank to make his metal pieces.
That's not surprising. That was a lot of fun, wearable art.
It was, yes. I did a few years of wearable art myself. I've done...
Was it 3 shows?
3 shows total, yeah. 2 down the runway, and then 1 just kind of walking around in like the before and after shows.
Right. In the lobby and the parties. That
yeah,
thing.
It was a lot of fun.
Julian really made it look very elegant in the wearable art show.
He did. Cool. I didn't really have any complaints.
Doesn't look that
about
comfortable
mine.
if you ask me.
No, it doesn't look it, but it wasn't bad.
And would you do another wearable art show if they asked you to?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I was actually asked to do it this last year again.
Oh, for this year, yeah.
Yeah, but then COVID happened, so we didn't have a show this past year. So hopefully things can kind of straighten out and we can have one this year.
All right, well, thanks again, Seth and Frank, for that great Art Corner piece. Now, please enjoy this message from the city of Dunedin, and when we come back, we'll have our musical guest, Katie Ducharme, and she'll be performing the National Anthem from the new TD Ballpark. Stay tuned.
Dear Dunedin resident, visitors, and neighbors, we know 2020 wasn't kind to many of us. As we move into the new year, let's start changing the narrative. It's time to get back to the activities that make life worth living. Be responsible and stay safe. With love, the City of Dunedin.
Welcome back to Good Morning Dunedin. It's time for some birthday shout-outs. Happy birthday to Katie. She's a park ranger with Florida State Parks, and when she's not at work, she's a big goofball and fun to be around. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to Cecilia. She loves everyone and is a joy to be around. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to Sunny. Sunny is a city employee and loves spending time with her daughter. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to Nate. He is one of our Dunedin volunteers here for Good Morning Dunedin. He loves his fiancée and he could speak Italian. Happy birthday. And happy birthday to Good Morning Dunedin.
That's 1 year.
We're
1 year old this week. It's a 52nd episode, and we started March 6th, and today's March 5th, so it's been a whole year. We did it.
1 year. Wow.
Yeah. So we got a lot of fun memories going live. We've been doing it in the studio for a while, going from home.
Some fun bloopers.
Having my daughter hosting the show.
That's right. Yep.
We've had the Easter Bunny on. We've had some other fun guests. Yeah, sometimes we just crack ourselves up. All right. Well, happy birthday, everybody, and happy birthday to Good Morning Dunedin and all the crew here.
Yes.
All right, so before we hear our musical guest this week, Katie Ducharme, I wanted to thank everybody who came on the show today, the Dunedin Blue Jays, the Mayor of Dunedin, our guest Jennifer, and of course you, wherever you are for tuning in this week. You can find us here on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and on our Dunedin cable channels. Thanks for tuning in. Everybody stay safe out there. Caitlin,
Good morning, Dunedin.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner